conglomerates, aesthetic cores, and $1,800 bag of chips. This is what you get when you mix a hyper-consumerist, hyper-individualist, and a hyper-imperialist society with fashion. And the current landscape of fashion is so damn frustrating to watch unfold before you, because it's like you doom scroll, you see some swag, and then you go to your damn wardrobe and you quickly realize that the most expensive thing that you own is a damn Airism cotton Uniqlo top for less than 15 bones. I'm not a hater, I can attest to that, but bro, being a fashion MF right now just isn't it, bro. Make no mistake, fashion needs like a goddamn miracle for it to switch up from like God's worst creation, apart from like realm, to like literally anything else, bro. Anything. So y'all got no idea how much I was quaking with joy in my leather guides when I found out about this jewel of an establishment in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. This is Komune. Komune is a refreshing take on the fashion retail experience, especially in a time where you can't walk into any luxury store without being greeted by a salesperson trying, begging, breathing down your neck for you to cop a pair of $1,200 Prada monoliths to add to your eclectic grandpa wardrobe to wear to your next brunch. Komune's approach to retailing neglects this norm in luxury retailing without compromising and, in my opinion, elevating what is being sold in stores. You see, Komune is a third place. And if you don't know what that is, I can kind of explain it to you like this. Your first place is your crib. Your second place is like your job / school. And your third place is the place you go to like hang out, meet new people, be with friends, just kind of doing whatever. These places could be like cafes, restaurants, the park, the library, arcades, amusement parks, etc. And if you haven't noticed, 4 of the 6 places I just named all got paywalls, meaning I can't go to a cafe alone without snagging like a $9 boba that I gotta pay with my $9 per hour wage, meaning I gotta work 1 hour to quench my thirst. But that's for another video. Basically, Komune loves you. The experience is amazing. You walk into the store, you're offered a drink, and the overall environment encourages you to just chill, just vibe, loiter, breathe air for free. Their selection of brands are especially what makes Komune stand out from other retailers, especially in Manhattan. Like maybe if you clicked on this video, you might have heard of them. They got brands like Professor.E, Wear, Song Gym, which like, look at this lighter, bro. Like no business, bro. No business being this cold. The brands stocked in Komune's inventory are majority independent designers, and this is something that's embedded in their philosophy. Komune is inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Yellow House in Arles, France, where he convinced his friend Paul Gauguin to move in with him. His dream was to create the studio of the South, a place where artists could essentially live together and just make cool shit. His dream, however, began to deteriorate when he had a certain infamous breakdown y'all might have heard of. Komune exists in this realm, and when you pair that with products made by independent creators who aren't making their stuff in the worst conditions given to mankind, you really do get a truly unique experience. This is especially important for independent designers. In this landscape, if you're a designer who makes their own inventory by hand, or you got like a really small team making your products and your underground ads got like 10K or less on IG, you're cooked, bruh. Like, good luck finding any retailer that'll take you seriously, because I promise you they won't. Theoretically speaking, anyone can start their own brand. And with access to the internet, really anyone has the potential to blow up, but like, be so for real, bro. Like, when your For You page is flooded with manosphere, crypto bro content that makes you realize you'd rather be lost in the woods with an apex predator than fucking Cody from math class, you really gotta stop to think whether people really care about what you make. And it sucks. You can't start your own brand the traditional route if you don't already got 7 years of industry experience minimum, connections, or just like a big cash money wad. And you can't get your brand out there if you're not making content that feeds the same algorithm injecting Subway Surfers Reddit storytime content to little Gerald, who became an iPad kid before his conception. Like, this is your competition, bro. Be so frank with me. Places like Komune are addressing a bigger issue in fashion and really just society in general. Welcome to the effects of late stage capitalism, where if you think a basic right is accessible or free to anyone, you'd be in for the ride of a lifetime. The commodification of such simple products like t-shirts have completely destroyed the relationship between the craftsman and the consumer. And the fashion industry does an excellent job at keeping it this way, especially in luxury fashion. I mean, how else are they able to wholeheartedly convince fashion MFs that the Fortnite Balenciaga collab jacket is worth more than half your rent? And what Komune is doing is healing that relationship again. They are fully devoted to repairing this relationship and making it intimate again. And this goes beyond the environment of the store. But like, even then, bro, come on, look at that. Even if this place had the same catalog as Zoomies, I'd still chill here, bro. Like, come on. But just looking beyond the space created by Komune, their selection of brands and the strategic rotation of them really comes to show how important curation is when it comes to starting a retailer bigger than the current state of fashion. Shopping from an independent designer will always be a more intimate and pleasant experience than one from a heritage house. Y'all will never convince me of that otherwise. Plus, like, why give your money to Bernie Arnault's greedy little grippers when you can give it to someone who actually makes cool things and like needs it to make rent? Komune was founded by Martin Lee and Brandon Fogarty. I couldn't find much info on them, but from what it looks like, they're in their early 20s, fresh out of college, which is like, bro, come on, like the audacity, no? Like, they for real said, the industry, I'ma do my own thing while being in college in the US. And being in college in the US sucks. I would know because I'm part of the Broke College Student Association, and trust when I tell you that shit is humbling. If you're watching this and you're a college student outside the US, let me know what that's like, because I've been seriously contemplating and I'm about to graduate. So I want to make another video talking about audacity, and I want to center it on a certain someone y'all might have heard of, so stay tuned for that. Kind of give you more of a perspective on the type of moves Komune is pulling off. For New York Fashion Week, they had a whole barbecue. Like, name me one fashion retailer who's had a whole ass cookout in the middle of fashion's most important event. I had the privilege to visit Komune during their first pop-up back in 2023, and I just want to say it changed my life. I'm not gonna lie, I went during a slow day, so I didn't even get to take advantage of all the events they hold for the community. But even then, it's by far the best experience I've ever had out of any fashion retail store in the US. And that's including Dover Street. And I know I'm gonna get shit for that take, because every fashion MF loves to ride Dover Street for life, like it's the mecca of every continent for fashion MFs. And it's a fun, unique experience, don't get me wrong, but I gotta go back to the intimacy Komune provides for its consumers. And that's just something you don't get in Dover Street. I did find this liberal youth ministry Chivas Guadalajara jersey in Dover Street, which was pretty cool. You don't really see Mexican designers being put in the same platforms as designers like Rick and Yohji. I will say the price was kind of a turnoff though, considering it was a simple wool sweater knit top for 700 bones, and the average GDP per capita in Mexico is $9,671 according to the Siri, which means the average Mexican would have to spend 13% of their annual income to afford this Chivas jersey. I get that they're not the target demographic, but if you're gonna use a Chivas Guadalajara jersey or any Mexican football club for your high fashion brand, I would be more mindful when designing and pricing something like this, just because it takes something that a lot of times serves as an escape for Mexicans undergoing financial stress and commodifies it into a product the very enjoyers of that club can't even afford. Then again, all of Liga MX and the football world kind of takes advantage of this anyway, so my criticism is with a grain of salt. I think places like Dover Street are definitely heading towards the right direction when it comes to making fashion retailing and the overall shopping/window shopping experience just that, an experience rather than a simple transaction. Especially with the world of technology and hyper-consumerism running brick and mortar stores out of business, leaving us with capitalist hellscape shops lurking around the corner waiting for us to give into the ad pushing they spend millions on just to sell us a tee that costs a nickel and 20 hours of hard labor done by marginalized groups. I can appreciate that effort done by Dover Street. At the same time, I feel like I shouldn't expect any less than that though, considering the majority of their products are marked at minimum 3-digit prices, when I guarantee some of those didn't even cost a quarter of that to make. This is genuinely why I feel Komune does it better. They may not have as much retail space to play around with or as many products to do so as Dover Street, but it's like I said before, the intimacy is just unmatched. Like, you just know that Song lighter holder from Songjin was made with the most unquestionable amount of care and labor by the creator, which I found out their name is Gloria, so shout out to Gloria, which is why I would much rather spend the $145 on it than any high fashion heritage house. I don't even think heritage houses have anything marked to a price as low as $145, which definitely says a lot about what you're buying. Basically, to luxury fashion consumers, it's all about brand equity, aka y'all shallow as hell. Now, there are a few arguments I've heard against this claim before that have made me stop to think in the past. Some say that despite luxury fashion's questionable practices, the prices are still justified because they help pay for the more creative side of these heritage houses, such as textile experimentation, avant-garde designs, and runway shows. And at face value, this statement makes sense, but it doesn't take much to understand why this claim has one big flaw in it. Like, all you really gotta do is say that sentence just one more time, but a little slower. Heritage houses don't need your money. Kering does not need your money. LVMH does not need your money. PVH does not need your money. Prada Group, OTB, etc. These guys are loaded with cold, hard cash money. And look, don't let me be the judge of what you wanna buy. Fashion is subjective, and at the end of the day, you like what you like. Matter of fact, I'm one to talk. If I could replace oxygen with the Prada de Iris EDP, I would have had some type of lung cancer like yesterday, bro. But here's the thing. There are way too many brands and creators out there for me to be stuck up on some damn house that was founded at the same time slavery was still legal. Why would I waste my time obsessing over these brands when there are entire worlds, subcultures, rabbit holes of designers, and interesting people to meet, collaborate with, and support who make products that are far more valuable in the context of care and craftsmanship than any conglomerate-owned brand could ever provide for me. If I never stopped looking at Balenciaga and Prada, I would have never found jewels like Komune and other brands I will mention on this channel. And look, it's fine if you want to look up to designers like Demna, Pharrell, Virgil, etc. I'm not saying they haven't made cool art and are undeserving of appreciation in their own right, but I do think that the world is too big and too dense to be obsessed with the machine who ultimately does not care about you, bro. There are creators and people out there who genuinely care about having an engaging interaction with their consumers. I mean, even calling Kommune's customers feels so out of place. It really makes more sense to call them like potential friends, acquaintances. I don't really know what the most appropriate term for it is, but basically all I'm trying to say is community overall. And isn't that what fashion is really all about, or any form of art, or any hobby? The real journey was the friends we made along the way. If y'all got any designers, brands, or artists that y'all would like me to talk about, feel free to engage in the comment section down below. I really am interested to see what y'all gotta say, but not in like the insecure way, more like in the I care about y'all kind of way and I'm interested in y'all's noggins type shit. And check out Komune for real. Like, those guys are doing something big and y'all should really support, because fashion is in need of people like them. So if you're ever in the Lower East Side, pop on by. Okay, follow me on my socials, like and subscribe. Gotta go. Boom!